Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments who you are, where you're tuning in from. And I'm here today to answer all of your job search questions. So feel free to put all your job search questions in the comments. This is going to be more of a Q&A session today. I'm not going to be speaking about a specific topic. I just wanted to kind of experiment with this whole ask me anything thing. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. Well, got my own audio on there. I was just looking at my own live stream. Okay, perfect. It looks like the notification went out. Hey, hit like, comment, share, folks, if you feel that this is going to be informative to anyone in your network, and let me know in the comments that the audio, the video, and all that fun stuff is all good. I'll give it a few more minutes. I know that it takes a few minutes for the notification to go out. So let me know in the comments what your job search questions are, who you are, where you're tuning in from. Again, folks, this is a networking opportunity as well. That's how you got to see it. So in the comments, introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what your skill set is, what your field is, what your profession is. If you're open to networking, let everyone know that you're open to networking, and all of you should be connecting with each other, right? You should be connecting with each other. Use my platform as a way for all of you to network and expand your own networks as well. So let everyone know in the comments, again, who you are, if you're open to networking and all that stuff. I see some comments coming in. We got Ibrahim here. All good. Awesome. Thanks for confirming that, Ibrahim. Appreciate that. So all right, so I see some questions coming in here. We got Deepti says, "Hi, how are the opportunities in the job market for full stack developer?" We got Nazir says, "Pega." All right, sounds good. Any other? Yeah, we got someone here saying, "Hey, Dean, hope you're doing well." Yeah, thanks so much. I'm doing great. I'm not sure who that is. Unfortunately, it doesn't show the name, but thanks. Appreciate you tuning in. And let me know in the comments who you are, because it doesn't show your name or anything of that sort. All right, so I'm going to get this started. Doesn't look like there's a lot of questions here. So if there's no questions, I'm just going to end this session early, folks. So if you're shy, get over it. Put your questions in the comments about job search, any job search related questions that you have, all right? So just a few announcements. So first of all, if you have not done so already, folks, I want you to download a copy of my free PDF that's been going around. It's 3 killer questions you need to be asking as a job seeker at your job interviews. This is highly effective questions you need to be asking at your job interviews that are going to help you identify and cut through to what the real pain points are regarding the position, help you get a stronger understanding of what the requirements are for the position, so you can have an actual real conversation. So if you want to download that PDF, send me a direct message after the live stream or even right now, and I'll send you a copy. I'll send you the link so you can download that free PDF and you can start using it right away for your interviews. Also, for those of you who have not done so already, I do release a weekly free live newsletter where I share job search tips and strategies. I release a new newsletter, I guess episode or whatever you want to call it, I guess edition, every Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time zone. So I release a job search strategy every week. So make sure you, again, if you want to subscribe to that, send me a direct message. I'll share the link with you so you can subscribe to that, and in your inbox every week, get your week off to a great start and have a strategy you can implement into your job search. All right. So feel free to let me know about that. Not feel free to let me know about that, but let me know you're interested. I'll send you the link. Send me a direct message. Also, a quick reminder for those of you who are attending or you're not aware, the PMI, PMI is hosting an event on November 7th. It's the PMI Ontario chapter's virtual PD day. It's the Professional Development Day. So it's a fantastic event, folks, with a lot of great speakers, and including I forget his name, Swish Goswami, who's a very popular speaker. He's going to be one of the keynote speakers. So I'm very honored to be sharing the stage at such an event with some great speakers as well. My session is going to be about conducting your job search during and after COVID-19. So it's going to be on November 7th. If you want more information about that, check out PMI Ontario. Or if you want the link, feel free to send me again. Send me a direct message. I'm happy to share with you the link so you can sign up for the event. It's on November 7th. Fantastic event. Also, some other great speakers who are going to be speaking as well. Also, one of the keynote speakers is, I believe, the president and CEO of PMI as well, who's going to be presenting there. So make sure you check it out if you have an interest in that. All right. And one more announcement I wanted to make is, if you're a recruiter watching this, by the way, if you're a recruiter or maybe you have an interest in recruitment, this Friday I'm going live with for a great, fantastic session. It's gonna be, hold on, let me just take this off. So I'm gonna be joined by Vivi Trong and James from Core Resources. Vivi's from Intuit, and we're going to be speaking about the challenges of recruiting during a pandemic. So being a recent recruiter myself, until recently I got into job search coaching, but prior to that I was for 8 years an IT recruiter. So I'm very passionate about the recruitment industry, and I'm going to be speaking about I'm going to be chiming in on this as well, and we're going to be discussing the challenges of recruiting during a pandemic. So if you're a recruiter, make sure you tune in. It's going to be this Friday, October 30th, 12 p.m. Eastern time zone. Myself, VV, James, we're going to be answering your questions and hearing about your struggles as a recruiter. If you're not a recruiter, you're most welcome to join as well if you want to get a glimpse of how things are working on the other side of the other side of the recruitment table, right? So it's going to be a fantastic conversation. So make sure you tune in. So with that being said, let's get started on today's Q&A, folks. So today is an open job search Q&A. So any of your job search questions, I want you to put that in the comments, and I'm going to go through the questions right now. Ariz, so that was Ariz. Yeah, Ariz, so good to see you here, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in, and hope things are going great at your end. Ariz was a former guest on my Tech Talks live stream segment, so he's also a great person to connect with, and I'm not sure if you post content, Ariz, but in any case, folks, great person to connect with. We got Oluwasun, hopefully I pronounced that correct, who is a business analyst from Nigeria. Awesome, fantastic. We got Ibrahim from Heart of Africa, Nigeria. Awesome, fantastic, Ibrahim. Good to have you here. Full stack developer, but most of his experience is on the front end. Awesome. Savari says, hi, Dean, this is Raj. How about the opportunities for software testing? Okay, I'll get around to that. So Edward says, hey, Edward, good to see you here. So folks, I was actually speaking at an event that Edward was hosting this past weekend on Saturday with PMI Toronto. He's one of the lead, he's the program lead, and I believe the program organizer, and one of the main mentors for the PMI Toronto group that I presented at Saturday. So Edward says, I do AI, blockchain, and mentoring. People often ask me about profiling their transferable skills for non-technical people who want to move into AI positions. Can you say something? Yeah, sure. I'm going to get around to your question shortly, Edward. So it looks like that's all the questions. All right, so let me take it from the top. So Deepti asked, how are the opportunities in the job market for full stack developers? So Deepti, this depends on, I'm not sure which country you're from. I'm assuming you're here in Toronto, Canada. If so, yeah, I mean, full stack development there's definitely a high demand for full stack developers. Again, depends on which industry you're looking into, because obviously, whereas there is a demand for certain skill sets, not every industry right now is doing well. And by the way, I totally forgot to go live on my Instagram, so let me just quickly go live on Instagram as well. So shout out to everyone on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing a live job search Q&A today, so put in your questions in the comments. I'll get around to your questions shortly. By the way, if you got Instagram, folks, make sure you look me up and follow me on Instagram as well. I'm posting daily regular job search tips and stuff like that as well. So going back to your question, Deepti, so again, what you got to look at first and foremost is, where is all the action on the marketplace? Because right now, during the current situation with COVID-19 and the pandemic and all that stuff, certain industries are doing well, but then there's those industries that are not doing well as well. So what a mistake that a lot of job seekers make is they're going after opportunities in industries maybe they really like, they enjoy it, the bulk of their experience is in, but there's not much action going on in those industries. Example would be the travel industry, the airline industry, right? These are industries that are not really doing too well right now. So there might not be a lot of investments going on in those particular sectors for developers, as an example, right? And not just developers, obviously, but various skill sets in that industry right now. But then there's other parts of the marketplace that are doing fairly well, right? E-commerce, logistics, e-learning, obviously companies with a focus on technology, cloud, cybersecurity. Like there's so many different types of industries and areas that are absolutely doing well right now. So my suggestion to you, DT, is look at those parts of the market where there is action going on. There is a demand in terms of there's investments going into that part of the market. There's a demand for these organizations or these industries in terms of their products, services, and solutions that they're providing. And look for your front end development, full stack development opportunities in those areas. So hope that helps, DT. Great question. Nazir says Pega. All right, sounds good, Nazir. Congratulations on that. We got So Ariz, I already spoke to Ariz about that, and let's see here. What are the questions? So Raj says, how about the opportunities for software testing? Yeah, so Raj, same thing, right? Same thing. You got to look at where all the action is, folks. Where's all the money and where are all the investments in the marketplace happening right now? Where is the consumer demand? That's going to give you a clue as to where the demand is, where the positions you're looking for ultimately might be. Because if you're looking for opportunities in industries that are not doing well right now, you might hear crickets, right? All you're going to hear is crickets. But if you focus your job search on those areas, those industries, those types of projects that are really, really hot right now, that's where you got to focus your search. And so within those areas, Raj, that's where you're going to find your opportunities for software testing. So if you're watching the news, folks, you got to pay attention. So instead of watching the news and getting fearful and anxiety and all this stuff from the number of cases going up and stuff like that, what I want you to do instead is take a look at what's happening in the marketplace. Where is consumer demand shifting to? And as a result of this shift in consumer demand, what kind of projects are potentially really popular right now and exciting and organizations are actually investing their money and resources into? That's where you got to be looking for your opportunities. So hope that helps, Raj. Great question. Edward, coming around to your question. So Edward says, I do AI, blockchain, and mentoring. People often ask me about profiling that transferable skills for non-technical people who want to move into AI positions. Can you say something? Yeah. So Edward, this is a common inquiry I get as well, right? So my advice in regards to that, Edward, is just like you say, like you got to focus on the transferable skill sets. So a concern that a lot of people have is, hey, Dean, so I'm looking to transfer into this kind of a role. I don't have the experience with that. What do I do? So my first piece of advice, folks, and this goes to you, Edward, as well as anyone else who's wondering about or thinking about this. Don't focus on what you don't have. There's no use focusing on stressing out over those things you don't have. A lack of experience, or you haven't worked with this tool or that tool. You don't have knowledge of XYZ. You haven't worked with technology ABC, whatever those things are. It's no use focusing on that stuff. What you want to do is probably two things, right? Number one is if you are taking steps to pick up on or learn these things that you don't have practical hands-on experience with, you definitely want to highlight that. You want to mention that for sure. And the second thing is you want to focus on those skills that you do have that add value to this position or this career you're transitioning into. So just like you said, Edward, you want to focus on the transferable skill sets, right? What do you bring to the table that brings value to this move you're trying to make in your career? So that way you're not focusing on the things you don't have. Like, why put focus on what you don't have experience with, folks, right? And this goes to various parts of your job search. Same thing with this whole lack of Canadian experience thing. If you don't have Canadian experience, why put the focus on that? Instead, focus on those things you do have. You have knowledge with certain types of projects in certain industries, certain types of technologies, certain types of software, certain types of methodologies, certain types of tools. You have a whole bunch of stuff you do have that brings a lot of value to the table. So first, you need to identify what those transferable skill sets are, and then you got to articulate that into your pitch, into what you bring to the table. And articulate how those transferable skill sets make you a valuable candidate for the position. So absolutely agree with you, Edward. You want to focus on your transferable skill sets. You also want to show how you've been sharpening up your skill set and picking up on certain things in whatever space these people are looking to get into, and focus on that. Focus on what you do have and what steps you have taken to make yourself an attractive candidate for this, for whatever position you're considering, right? So great question, Edward. Hope that helps. By the way, for those of you, who have an interest in PMI or project management, you definitely want to reach out to Edward for more information about, their mentoring program. They have a great mentoring program. I spoke at their event just this past Saturday, and I spoke specifically about networking strategies for during COVID-19. And it's just a great group, folks. Like, Edward's such a great, fantastic speaker. He shared a lot of his own wisdom and expertise. The best way to learn, folks, is through mentors, right? Because it's like a shortcut. You're not wasting time trying to figure things out on your own. You're kind of taking a shortcut through mentors, because mentors, they tell you, okay, these are the mistakes I made, these are things you definitely want to do, these are things you definitely don't want to do. So it's always great to have mentors, right? So again, if you have an interest in PMI or learning more, feel free to reach out to Edward. I'm pretty sure he can advise you on how himself or PMI can assist you through their career accelerator program. So a fantastic thing right there. And also, I just wanted to quickly speak about this whole mentoring thing, right? Like, I was speaking to a guy yesterday. And by the way, so at my end, for those of you who don't know me, like, I've been working in IT recruitment for about 8+ years, and currently I'm running a job search coaching business specifically for IT professionals. And I was speaking to an IT professional yesterday, and he's been unable to land himself a job for a year, folks, for 1 year, right? So being a coach, pretty much is the term is interchangeable with being a mentor, right? Had this individual, paired up with a mentor, either if not myself, hey, maybe someone else out there, they would not be wasting 1 year of their time not progressing in their career, not getting the knowledge that they need, and not progressing in their job search effectively and efficiently. So not getting a mentor, not getting a coach, folks, just don't think that that does not cost you something in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of not moving ahead in your career. And this is one of the greatest values you can have from getting a coach or a mentor. So always keep this in mind in terms of your job search. If you're spending months and months trying to figure out your job search, and you feel like it doesn't make sense for you to invest in a mentor or a coach, or invest in some program where you can't invest the time or the money or the resources, always remember that you're spending something in some way or fashion, and it doesn't have to be money. It could be time. It could be staying away from progressing in your career. What's that costing you, folks, right? So highly recommend always looking at getting a mentor or coach. It's like getting a shortcut into your job search. So just keep this in mind. So I'm moving on to the other questions here. So Kiati says, hi, is there any specific criteria to shortlist the resume in MNC, so a multinational corporation? I'm from what I understand, what you mean by that, Kiati. I noticed that my resume is not getting shortlisted in MNCs. So assuming by MNC you're talking about multinational corporations, like big companies, big organizations. Your problem, Kiati, is that is exactly the fact that you're only applying online. Your resume is one of hundreds, if not thousands, of other resumes competing over the same positions. And there's no magic bullet, folks, in terms of how to get found on the ATS or how to make your resume more noticeable. Now, definitely you wanna make sure, Kiati, when you're applying for the roles, you're customizing your resume as much as possible, and including those keywords as much as possible for this job that you're applying for. So this is where it becomes a little tedious, but that's probably the only thing that can help you in getting found. Now, that being said, again, Kiati, you do not want to only depend on solely applying online, or solely depending on the ATS systems and things like that. Because look, your resume is one of hundreds, if not thousands, of other resumes, folks. That's the reality of the situation. So something I suggest to my coaching clients is, look, you got to take a multi-pronged approach. You want to keep applying, but you want to use other avenues as well. You want to use professional networking. You want to make use of the job boards as well. You want to make use of partnering up with staffing agencies. You want to make use of what else? Direct messaging. You want to even make use of cold calling if you're comfortable with picking up the phone and actually calling prospective employers. Now, that's what you need to do. How you need to do it, there is definitely a strategy and process in place in regards to that. And that is, again, something that I provide one-on-one for my students or my clients in my coaching program. But this in itself is an extensive area, Kiati. But my advice to you, Kiati, is you need to figure out what other steps you can take aside from simply applying online. So I mentioned a few to you, directly reaching out to potential hiring managers and contacts at the company. Connecting with staffing agencies and even corporate recruiters or HR people within the organization. You want to make use of building your own personal and professional brand on LinkedIn so that people see you as an expert in your space. You want to make use of the professional networking, right? Reaching out to your network, identifying organizations or institutions you can be a part of that might get you in front of these organizations. Folks, the job search is not just some random thing, folks. It involves strategy, and it involves taking certain steps and processes that you need to utilize in your job search. The biggest mistake most job seekers make is assuming that the job search simply means a good resume and applying for the jobs online. The job search there's much more to the job search than that, folks. The principles behind conducting a successful job search are simple, but simple does not mean easy. There's definitely an end-to-end strategy you need to be utilizing, right? So great question, Kyati. Thanks for asking. Hope that helps. So we got a question here from Deepak. Deepak says, can you tell me if there are any co-op opportunities for students in the software QA field? Yeah, absolutely. There definitely is, Deepak. You just got to know where to look, right? And so if you joined in just now, watch the replay from the beginning. I shared some tips from someone else who asked if there were, about whether there's opportunities in full stack development and QA. Same thing. You gotta go where the action is, folks. You gotta identify where's the action on the market, where are all the investments going, what kind of projects are companies investing in. That's where you got to look for your opportunities, including the co-op opportunities, Deepak. So I hope that helps. Ruben says, hi, Dean, what's the job scene like for computer vision? If you could compare the number of openings before the pandemic versus now, please. Yeah, so Ruben, I don't have any data in front of me to share statistics or anything like that. But folks, this is where kind of the simplicity of the job search comes in, right? To make things very simple, all of you need to be focusing your job search on those areas of the market where that are doing well, that are thriving, or that are sustaining demand and demand for their products, services, and solutions. That's what you got to be looking at in terms of where the opportunities are. So I get where you're coming from, Ruben. Like, you want to look at the statistics and the numbers and stuff like that. I don't have any in front of me right now. But what I would advise you to do, Ruben, is look at, again, let's go back to the basics, folks. Where's all the action? Where are all the investments flowing? What kind of projects are organizations and businesses investing their time, money, and attention on? That's where you got to look for your computer vision opportunities, Ruben, right? Now, maybe in your research, you might discover, hey, maybe there's not a demand right now, but you got to kind of figure that out and see. And again, look at those parts of the market right now, folks, that are experiencing high demand or sustained demand for their products, services, and solutions, right? And this is highly influenced by consumer demand or the demand of businesses or whatever, the scenario is. But that's where you got to look. The analogy I like to give is, look, if you're fishing in a lake, right, and the spot that you're fishing, suddenly the fish are disappear and they move on to like some other area of the lake. It does not make sense for you to be fishing in the same spot. You got to go where the fish are. By fish here, I'm talking about where all the action is, where all the money and investments, where all the job opportunities are. You got to shift your focus and go where that is. So hope that helps, Ruben. Anjali says, good morning, Dean. Anjali from Mississauga. Thanks for your session. And on follow-up in job search. Hey, no worries. Oh, I guess you were at that session. Yeah, so folks, I spoke recently at the Toronto TO Tech Career Fair, which is organized by TorontoJobs.ca. So I did a session on follow-up. So good to hear that you were there, Anjali. My question is, what do you think about emailing possible hiring managers or technical recruiters inside the organization based on the role you applied for? Follow the same schedule as you mentioned in your session. I don't want to bug anyone with this email. Please share your thoughts. Yeah, absolutely, Anjali, right? Like, you definitely got to be maximizing your points of contact, because again, this is where we got to play a bit of the numbers game, folks. Not everyone you reach out to is going to be responding to your message. So if you're only depending on reaching out to one person within this organization which interests you, hey, they might respond, but if they don't, then you're pretty much at ground zero at that particular organization. So you definitely want to see if there's multiple individuals you can reach out to within this organization in order to elicit a response. So that might include recruiters, it might include potential hiring managers, could be a whole bunch of people, right? Now, how you structure your message is also very important, right? Now, I'm speaking about what you should do, but there is a definite way to structure your message in order to elicit a response, right? In order to strengthen your ability to get a response. I'm actually coaching a couple of my students right now, a couple of my clients right now, on how to effectively structure an actual message to these points of contact, right? Recruiters, hiring managers, senior executives. And consistently, my clients are getting an increase in response ratio when they're sending out these messages, because there's a certain method and way in terms of how you need to be structuring your messages, folks, right? And there's basically certain components, and this is based on my experience being a recruiter, right? Trying to reach out to hiring managers and decision makers myself, as well as candidates and individuals I'm trying to recruit as well, being when I was in recruitment. So there's definitely what you need to do, which is definitely, Anjali, you definitely need to be reaching out and figuring out who you need to be reaching out to and identify multiple individuals that you need to be reaching out. You definitely want to do that. but there's also a method and way for you to do that. And in terms of follow-up, that's where the follow-up comes in as well. You need to have a follow-up strategy that you need to apply and implement into your messaging, direct messaging strategy, and your follow-up strategy as well, which is equally as important. For those of you who want more information on that and how I can help you and coach you through that, feel free to send me a direct message. Happy to provide you with more information. But I hope that helps, Anjali. And you definitely want to identify multiple stakeholders you can reach out to. Great question. Sahej says, hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. I'm from India. I have 3.5 years of experience in Android application development. I have many questions and queries regarding getting a job at MNC. Where can I ask them to you? I can't DM straight to you as LinkedIn does not allow. Yeah, so you probably should be using this platform, Sahej. So ask your questions right now. So folks, I go live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. So even if you're watching the replay of this, tune in every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. I go live here. You can ask me your questions. So Sahej, if you're still there, you can ask me your questions right now. Edward says, Dean, thanks for the answers and shout out for our PMI Career Accelerator program. Great Q&A. Yay, no worries, Edward. Hope that helps. And yeah, folks, make sure you reach out to Edward, right? It's a great program there and great mentors there. And it was fantastic being a part of it. So again, thanks for inviting me, Edward, and a shout out to Obi as well, who initially reached out and invited me to speak at this session that they had. And maybe I'll see you at the November 7th event, Edward. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Mustafa says, business analyst in Los Angeles. Awesome. We got the West Coast in the house. Good to see you here, Mustafa. Open to networking, and thanks for the opportunity. Awesome. So yeah, feel free to network with Mustafa, folks. And then Anjali says, thanks, Dean. Hey, no worries, Anjali. Appreciate your question. That was a great question. So it looks like no more questions. So if no one has any more questions, I'm going to wrap things up over here. So look, folks, for those of you who are watching, look, if you're an IT professional, you're in Canada or the US, you're struggling in your job search, you need someone to help you and mentor you and coach you through your job search. Your expertise, folks, is in IT. You're a technology professional. Your expertise is not in the job search. If you're not able to land yourself a job, the problem is not your skill set. Do not go hard on yourself and feel like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why does no one want to interview me? Why am I not getting any responses to my resume? Do I not offer enough? Do I not have the right skill set? Do I not have the right knowledge? Do I not have the right expertise that employers and organizations are looking at? Folks, do not doubt yourself and your own skill set. Your skill set is not the issue. Now, there might be certain roles out there that require certain certifications or qualifications and things like that. Now, if you need to get those done, definitely do your research and your due diligence to get those done. But the issue is not, stop being hard on yourselves and thinking that you lack something, folks. In terms of your profession, your career, your areas of knowledge and expertise, that is not the issue. The issue is your job search, how you're conducting and carrying out your job search. No one is taught how to conduct an efficient and effective job search. I know I wasn't. When I was in university, when I was a student back in the day, I was not taught how to conduct a job search. What I did have is all this knowledge, right, that I was taught. And when I was working, all this professional knowledge and experience, that was my expertise. That was my knowledge. That was the scope of my knowledge, right? And what I knew and what I know. Conducting a job search is a different ballgame, folks. It's like a different skill set. It's a completely different skill set that, again, no one is taught. And if you're not getting responses in your job search, you're not getting responses to your resume, you're not getting those initial phone calls, you're not converting those initial phone calls into interviews, you're not converting those interviews into final interviews, you're not converting those final interviews into offer letters. The problem is not your skill set. The problem is your ability to handle the job search cycle, right? And this is where taking on the services or assistance from a coach or mentor comes in, right? And so those of you interested, again, if you're an IT professional in Canada or the US, you're struggling, you want to learn more about how I can help you through my coaching services, feel free to send me a direct message. I want you to reach out to me. Let's schedule a 30-minute free, no obligation discovery phone call so I can learn more about your situation and I can let you know more about how I can help you personally myself. So let me know. Feel free to reach out. And look, stop being hard on yourself, folks. The issue is not your skill set. The issue is not that you're lacking in some area of your experience. The issue is how you're conducting your job search. And if you've been struggling with your job search for months and months, or maybe even years, now is the time for you to start considering that maybe there's something you don't know, right? And you need to have the honesty with yourself to admit that you might need assistance or help, or that there's something you might not know about the job search. Now, what I bring to the table, folks, is that my experience and what I teach, and the advice that I provide to my clients, and even on these live streams, and what you see me posting on LinkedIn here is LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, all these places, based on my experience working as an IT recruiter on the recruitment side of the table for 8+ years, right? And when you're working in the staffing agency side of the equation, at a minimum, you have to be interviewing at least 10+ candidates every week. Right now, if you multiply that by, multiply that by 4 weeks, 4 weeks for every month, and multiply that by 12 months in a year, that's like what, 480 80 interviews right there. Multiply that by the 8 years I've been in the industry, you got like close to 4,000 interview cycles. So my experience, what I coach my clients on, what I teach people, what I talk about here on social media, is based on my involvement in almost, I would say it's probably 3,500 plus interviews over the past 8 years of my career as a recruiter. That's why my knowledge and experience is based on, folks. So look, if you're struggling, I want to be able to share my knowledge and experience with you. I want to help coach you through your job search process. So if you found that this information was helpful, if you want to learn more, again, feel free to send me a direct message. Happy to help you with more information, and how I can potentially help you myself on my end, and leverage all that experience that I have working in thousands of recruitment cycles, thousands of interviews that I've conducted as a recruiter, and show you where the issue might be in how you're approaching your job search. Right. So feel free to send me a direct message for more information. So folks, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope this information was helpful. Make sure you hit like, comment, and share if you found this session useful. And again, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I release a free weekly job search strategies newsletter every Monday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time zone. Send me a direct message if you want the link to subscribe. I'm happy to send you the link so you can subscribe. And again, for those of you with an interest in recruitment, if you're a recruiter watching this Friday, I'm going live 12 p.m. Eastern time zone with my friends Vivi and James. We're going to be talking about challenges of recruiting during the current pandemic situation, right? So thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hope everyone got some great value out of this. And I'll continue to put out my content to help all of you in your job search. And look, again, if you're struggling, folks, if you're an IT professional in Canada, the US, you're struggling, you have absolutely nothing to lose by scheduling a 30-minute discovery call with me to figure out if I can help you with your job search strategy, and if it makes sense for you to make that call and make that investment. All right. So thanks so much, everyone. Everyone take care and have a fantastic week ahead. All right.